See it? Since you guys are so well prepared, it's going to make it pretty easy. Screen mirroring, Art 4. Alrighty. Now, what I did was I started with this banner. Okay, and I showed you how we've got different, I built this up with different layers and all, and then I was able to do layer comps. So I've got that, all different views of it, until I found one that I'm going to settle with right here, which is, I guess, one more down. Okay, so that's what I want it to look like. And my concept behind this was I'm creating a display of armor and just showing both the power and the wealth in these armors, but also this guy up here with the horns. I had this feeling I wanted to do something with the Seven Samurai. That feeling of this what is it? The Magnificent Seven is a cowboy movie, which has 7 cowboys who come to the rescue of people. But there's these heroic figures. So we've got a close-up of a samurai, and then this samurai's riding in to save the town. We got an idea of the town, and then of course the name and the dates. So it's treating this the same way that I think it was John Huston who did the first 7 Samurai. That whole idea of heroics, because there's all kinds of things, what takes you can take with it.
Wait, wasn't that Akira Kurosawa?
Pardon?
Akira Kurosawa did 7 Samurai.
He did 7 Samurai.
I
think Huston, I think, did the Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
And there was a recent one that was redone too. But yeah, Kurosawa was the original.
I was gonna say 7 Samurai is one of my favorites. I love Kurosawa.
He's a great director.
Yeah.
Ron, I loved. And Throne of Blood, he did Throne of Blood, which was Macbeth. And then he did Ron, which was King Lear. Just if you get a chance to watch some of his work, it's amazing. Okay, so what I did was I kind of took it apart and put it back together. Or I'm going to put it back together again now. The helmet is here. This was the helmet, the original photo, and obviously. We can't have the white background, we can't have all this detail, we can't have continuous tone. It's got to be broken down into separate tones, as few separate tones as possible. And so what I did was, I wanted to go from that to looking like this. And it's actually a pretty simple thing. If you get your object from online sources, if you scan them, whatever you do, if you draw them yourself, what I did was I took this right here, the full RGB. And then all of our channels are going to be black or black to white grayscale, right? Because we can only represent the percentage of color, the amount of color through the amount of black versus white. So I've got to get this obviously into grayscale. So you take your first image, and you go to Image, Mode, Grayscale. Okay, don't merge. In fact, don't do that. Go to Command U. You got Photoshop there? In fact, open up one of the images you want to work with.
Just copy and paste it in?
Yeah. Just you're going to create a new document for it in Photoshop. So I have this one here, Option Command I, get out of this first, Option Command I, it's only 586 by 503. That's not very big. That's 72 DPI. We want to be going at 150 DPI. So I'm in Option Command I, I'm going to take it to 150. And it shows me it's only 3 inches by 3 inches. So we have to scale it up. Now let's do our banners at 1 foot. 1 inch on the banner is 1 foot of the banner at 150 DPI. You understand how that's going to work? So what you do is let me see how big my banner is here. Where's my sketch? Banner sketches. There we go. Oop. Okay, that's my sketch, just like you've got a sketch there. I'm working with a JPEG version of it simply because I don't think they scale any differently. Option Command I, just same size, I think. Nope, much bigger. So I'm going to take this, it's 42 by 56, I'm going to resample it. I'm going to bring it up to 150. And by resampling, it means it's going to change things. So I'm doubling the resolution, which means I'm cutting the size of the piece down in half. So if you watch the numbers, like the width, if I go to 150, my bad, Option Command I, turn off resample to start with. I get this into 150. And now instead of 40 by 52, by having all these locked together and raising the resolution, I know the helmet can be 20 by 20 inches, roughly, 20 by 25 inches. That's plenty big for what we're doing. We're going to go with an inch equals a foot. So if I create a new one, Command N, and what size did we use? I'm going to figure this, oops. Option Command I. This was 3 feet by 10 foot at 300 pixels per inch. So I'm going to go create a new document, Command New, and now it can be 3 by 10. Instead of 3 feet, it's 3 inches, 10 inches, etc. But I'm doing it at 300 for the resolution. You want to keep the res up so that when you put it into a portfolio or show it off to somebody, 3 by 10's that big. That's not huge, but it will fit kind of in there. At 300 DPI, I can drop the resolution, boost the size.
So right now we're changing the resolution to 150 for our picture.
So we're going to do this. Actually, I'm keeping my new banner at 300.
Okay.
But I was using 150 in the others. What's going to happen is you're going to see how 150 works. And then we'll go back and resize things to make them work on a 300 DPI banner. So clipboard, nope, we want a new banner that is in inches, 3 inches wide by 10 inches tall. And you can see it changes to portrait. It's 300 pixels per inch, so it allows me room to blow this thing up if I want to. RGB, that's good. We create. That's the size of the banner. And then what I like to do also is I've got Command Open. I think I told you about this last week. I always like to have a figure. Name matches figure. Figure black ping. I open that up, select all, Command Copy. And what I'm going to do is just go over to that new unnamed thing there. Untitled one, it's 3 feet by 10 feet. I'm gonna paste it. Now you can see that's way too small to be a human. A human should be more than half, 60% of this banner. So I'm not worried about the figure pixelating. I just go to Command T, and I looked up architectural figures, architectural sketch figures, because they have, that's where these, this one came from a fashion site. So I blow it up, and it's about, that's pretty close. That's how big a human would be.
Should we do that now?
Not yet. So that's how big a human would be. She's on her own layer. You can always turn it on and off. It's just for me to reference. All right, so the next thing is I want to put a helmet in. And you saw the sketch had the helmet at the bottom, right? Okay. So I go to Pagoda Samurai Helmet. Now, take this. I'm going to make a copy of it. Never work on the original. Okay, turn that off. Helmet. And then, if I make this grayscale, it's going to turn this and the other helmet grayscale. I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is go to Command U. That's hue and saturation. And to make it appear grayscale, I just drag saturation all the way over to the left. Takes all the saturation out of the color. All the hue has been removed and it's just gray now. So it looks like it's grayscale without having to disrupt the rest of the file. Everybody got that part? Okay. And do you guys ever used hue? This command here? Command U. You can roll the hue. If I go towards the red, you see how it's turning things more and more red? And I can bring it over to green. If I wanted to do a reptile, that might look good for a reptile helmet. I come back this way and I'm back over to not the same blue, but a very similar blue. So I'm going to put 0 back in there, push the saturation back down again. And that's what I'm going to work with. And what did we do with our pictures last time? The picture of the model or the woman or whatever you used. Remember we did Command L? Okay, we got all this stuff right here. I could use this, the eyedropper, the black eyedropper, and say that's what I want to be black. But you can see there's an even distribution across here. So what I do instead is I'm going to grab the black and the white. I'm going to take the white and push it in this direction. Things are starting to get white. I don't want to get out of hand yet. The black. White. I don't want to lose too much up there. The black. Ooh, we're getting there.
You didn't use the eyedropper?
I did not use the eyedropper in this one because that distribution of color was so even in the histogram. And I'm just about where I want to be.
But I'm trying to do the level of fabric.
Okay, why don't you shoot yours up there. Okay. All right, now, you're going to have to do a silhouette around her to get rid of those guys in the background, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but for now, what you can do is, you don't have anything up there? You're right, hit cancel. Let me see which layer you're on. You're on a layer, what does that first layer say? What is that first layer? Top layer.
Oh, I copied it.
You copied it from,
Like I took the back out and then copied
and you're also using an adjustment layer. So that's a much bigger, I'm looking at your bicycle, okay. Get rid of that layer right there. Saturation layers, unless there's a need for it, which there are plenty of reasons for having it, but for what we're doing, we simply want to make it just black and white, which is easy to repeat. So you made a copy, which is correct. Now look up here, she's going to do a rough. Quick and dirty thing here. Just take your, you can probably take your magnetic lasso tool, just go around her. And don't fret about her, because you're going to go back and redo it. inches by 21, that'll be fine. Put your cursor, you guys know what happens when you use a cap key on the cursor? Hit your cap key. See, you got that dot right there? I'd make yours 20, with 20 pixels. It'll give you a little more room to work with.
It's up on the top.
Right up here, under filter. That's the size that it scopes out and looks for edges. Okay, let's see how it looks. That's better. I just blend it along. Not too slowly, but fairly rapidly along the edge of her. Get that dot right over her, the edge of the dress. Keep it right on the edge of the dress.
Am I not doing it right?
Split it. There you go. Don't worry about those things. It's fine. You're going to go back and do it much more cleanly. Everybody use magnetic lasso tool? It searches out the edges. What I use it for is just what you do, and I establish that edge and establish a selection. Then I go back into better tools and get the really good edge. Good. Now, first thing always is you want to save that selection. Select, save selection.
Just Command S.
Go to select. Save selection. And just call it silhouette. Down here, save selection. Call it silhouette. Okay, now we want to get rid of the space next to our hips. Just use, while this is still out, I'm going to hold down the option key, same tool, and then just draw around her hips and that arm. Excellent. Oops. Okay, right there. All right, now, you want to add this back in again. So use the shift key. Just go around the area that you blocked out. Yeah, over here. Back again, just around that, and there you go. Let it go.
What?
There.
Oh my goodness.
It takes practice, don't worry.
Why
Just
isn't it so?
double click. Whoop.
Oh my.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead, double click. Yeah, good. Use your regular. Okay, good. All right, oops. See?
Okay.
Good. That looks good. Okay, so now save that as silo. Two. Great. And now what you want to do is just do Option Command, Shift Command I. That is select the inverse. Now we've selected the full background here. And just make sure you use the black and white chip, default chips.
This?
Little tiny ones here. That will reset black and white. And now, good. And now Command Delete will fill that whole area that's been selected. There you go. Command D, so you got her all selected. Everybody got the idea how we're going to do this? Yeah? Okay. So that's just what I was doing here. I mean, luckily for me, the helmet had a white background. It makes my life easy. And what you end up doing is pushing. You really want to get these one right on top of the other if you can. Because now I only have black and white when they're right on top of each other. And I tell it, okay. And now right now, I've got the helmet where I can make a channel out of it like we did the other day and see a color through it. Do you remember doing that? Okay, so I also want to have a gold behind this helmet in exactly the same shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my regular magic wand tool. Selected all this background over here. Shift, select over here, and it selected everything over here, kept the blades on his helmet intact. And so now I've got everything except the helmet selected, just with 2 clicks, because the black is really tight. But I want to make sure, I want to fill the area of where the helmet is. I want to fill that with black. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another layer. Okay, I made a copy on this one. The copying is fine. So what we're looking at is a layer that looks like this. It's going to be used as a channel, but it's a layer right now. I'm going to go to my default chips, Option Delete, but first Shift Command I reversed the selection. So now I can do Option Delete and I have a black helmet that matches up exactly to the black and white helmet. And what I'm going to do is use this like we used the letter forms the other day. It's just going to be made into gold. And the black helmet will sit on top of it and we'll see the gold through the black helmet. You doing okay?
What did you click? Option Command Delete?
For,
Swap them? Now you swapped it.
oh,
Black.
Shift Command I,
And then delete.
and then Option Delete. Option Delete fills with the foreground color. Command Delete will fill with the background color. So everybody's got something that looks like mine. You've got a black and white version of it. Oops. And you've got a full blacked in version of it. Save it. Make sure you know where you saved it to. Now those are layers. We are going to use them as channels. Let's see. Now if you've got, let's see, you might have a leak, we call it. See how it's all going to the inside here? Okay. I want you to do a Command D. Deselect. Deselect. Just deselect everything. You've got a leak right through her shoulder right there. It looks like one of them. For now, just take your pencil or take your pencil and fill in a little bit. One line right there, fill out her shoulder. You're going to have to go through and look for leaks. Just draw right through her shoulder. There you go. Make sure it's 100%. Yep. And then look for any other place that might be a leak. Just for now, draw a line down or down there. Start right there with the pencil. And just follow the outside of the gown down to right here. And make a continuous line. Good. Maybe right there you do a little bit of pencil work. Yep. Just draw for now around the outside of the gown, the sides and the bottom. Come over here. Getting it? There you go. There you are. You got it. Because when you do this, you have to make sure there are no leaks to the outside. Now go to Command L and make that everything black again. Push the black pointer over towards the middle. Your line's a little gray, that's all. There we go. Good. Did okay. Now try with your magic wand tool on the outside. You're in the right layer. Up, 2. Okay. Got a puppy right there. do, just reverse it again, just for a second. Command I, and Command H to turn off the marquee.
Wait, what?
Command H. I extra. Where did it all go? Command I. I'm sorry. Command H again. Command D for deselect. I got one step ahead of things here. Just do Command I so I can see that. It's gonna look cool. At least for glass, okay? You see how you might be able to use that?
Yeah. Isn't it supposed to be the other way?
But we can make it the other way later.
Okay.
What we'll do is when we get into channels, we'll make it the other way. Okay, so we've got the backing color, and I've got the helmet. That's ready to go. So what I can do is take each one of these. I'm going to take this helmet right here, which has white holes through it. Select all, Command copy, and I'm going to go to that banner. Not that one. This one. And I'm going to paste it. Now that's pretty close to the size I'm going to use it. One of the reasons I like to go to 300, even though 200 is our lower limit, is I can take this confidently now and go to Command T, and I can place it at the bottom, and I can blow it up to
Wait, you put this on the new one you made?
on the new clean.
And you just hit paste.
Just paste it. It makes a layer for itself, so it's a helmet layer. Helmet black. Helmet K. And now what I'm going to do again is go back. I haven't enlarged it yet. I'm going to enlarge the helmet. I'm going to go back to the helmet again. I'm going to grab this layer, the gold layer that goes behind it. Select all, Command copy. I'm going to go back to Untitled, paste it. Oops, wrong one.
Wait,
Sure.
how did you get it all black? The helmet.
That's when I pushed, I went first to Command U for saturation, made it all black and white. So let me see, why don't you put yours up on the board there? Okay, that's, you've got it all black and white right now.
Yeah,
You did already.
yeah.
So you just take that, copy it, select all, copy. Oh, I see what you're saying, how to get it all black.
Yeah.
Make a copy of that layer.
Okay, do I have to select all to make a copy?
Just drag the copy down to the plus sign. And this is what Amanda was just doing. You're going to do this more carefully later, but take a pencil. Make sure it's black is black. Pencil tool. Make it like 3 or 4 pixels wide. That's good right there. And now what you're going to do is just, like this is for class, you're going to go back and do it more carefully later. Then you've got a light leak here, a white leak. So you start here, and draw, and close that off. That's it. Now that's done, not too bad, but it's kind of a blunt instrument.
Mm-hmm.
So go over here and make this 3. Start from here. You want to fill that leak. Drag it through, so no, there you go. Make sure you close all these off. There's some here. I would just right now go across here, here, the heel, and you can pick up from there and just fill this in right here. Okay, that looks good. Instead of filling it across the top, just go to canvas size.
I don't, where
Or
is
go to
it?
crop. Go to your crop tool. This one right here. Just pull this down a little bit. There you go. So it gets rid of those white leaves.
Okay.
All right, now, you take your magic wand tool. Back up, I think it's under the brush.
Okay.
Select the white. See how it selects everything outside the dress?
Yes.
We want to fill everything now in this new layer is to be black. We want to select the inverse. It's just Shift Command I.
Okay.
And now you select everything inside.
Yeah.
So now just fill it. Option Delete. And that gives you all the color for that if you want to put color behind it. You don't have to put, you've got the layer to do it.
Okay.
So save that.
Thank you.
And I put that in there. I'm going to go back. I'm going to copy the gold part of the helmet because I want it directly behind this one. So I go back to helmet. Make sure I'm in helmet copy there. Select all. Command copy. Go back to untitled. I'm going to paste it in. Command V. Now, what's very helpful to me is I know I'm just about in a corner. It's going to sit on the bottom. So all I've got to do is drag this right down to the bottom. So one sits directly on top of the other. And I can check just by turning the layer off and on. Everybody get that part? And then you save. I'm going to call this.
Do that part, right?
What?
I can't do that part, right?
Yes, you can. Hang on. Which part can't you do?
How you took like that black layer and put it under?
Put it up there.
Because I don't have the same as
Right, we'll make it. That's why you were filling in all that stuff, so you could make a black layer if you wanted to. All right, now, what you want to do is, let's see. First of all, just do Command I. Now that's what you want, right? So far? Yeah. Now, if you want a fully black version of it, let's zoom right in on it. I'm sorry, go back to the source. The other document you took this from.
Like the original.
The one we turned black and white and copied and pasted out of.
Oh, see, I was playing around and I lost how I did that.
And you what?
I was playing around with this.
Yeah. And you lost it?
Yeah.
Oops. Okay, use your magic wand tool on this one. Select the white area outside the dress. That goes inside the dress. We're going to leave, don't you worry about the black one now because this is so elaborate. We can do what we need to do when it's time to do it. Okay? So, we all have, or most of us have,
So just
one
do
or
like
two
this.
versions, right? This is my helmet fill. So I've got either filled in, and then you should also have the black helmet, or the black whatever. So everybody got one version with holes through it like this one, and one version that's completely filled. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we saved. So the next thing I want to do is, now in the process of doing this, we're going to have to make these into channels. But the next thing I want to do is, we will make it a channel. The next thing I want to do is give this banner a full red background. Okay, now I don't have to do anything special here. I just have to simply make a new layer. Okay, and I'm going to call that red background.
Does it have
No. Just my background's going to be red. Red background. Okay, now, if it helps, you can do, I want the red background behind all this stuff. If it helps, you can make it red. Select all, come over here, Make it red. Okay, I've got select all. I'm in my background layer. My foreground color is red.